The Senate President, Sherwin Gatchalian, opened the session at exactly 2 p.m. on July 13, 2026, with 18 senators present constituting a quorum. The court noted the following administrative compliances. On the compliance with the court's order last July 6 regarding the issuance of the subpoena duces tecum for the BIR, the AMLC, and the specified banks, the respondent's memorandum was received by the impeachment court today, July 13, 2026, at 1:52 p.m. The House Panel of Prosecutors memorandum was received by the impeachment court via email today, July 13, 2026, at 7:38 p.m. The presiding officer reminded the parties to prepare for oral arguments on Wednesday, July 15, 2026, for 10 minutes each. On the compliance of the House Prosecution Panel with the court's order today to submit to the court the documents to prove the request of NBI Chief Attorney Melvin Matibag to be scheduled to testify this week. The House Prosecution Panel submitted the letter from Director Matibag dated July 10, 2026, and the official invitation from the FBI dated June 24, 2026 to the impeachment court today, July 13, at 3:41 p.m. As to preliminary manifestations and motions, Senator Judge Raffy Tulfo asked if the defense will present any evidence to prove the mentioned Operation Romanov. He also asked the meaning of the statement of the defense that the Vice President's response was unconventional. The House Prosecution Panel manifested the conflict of schedule of their witness, Attorney Melvin Matibag, and requested that he be presented tomorrow before Attorney Zuleika Lopez and Director Belinda Bello's testimony. As to the presiding officer, he reiterated that the prosecution manifested last week after he asked if Attorney Matibag is scheduled this week, to which he answered in the affirmative. The presiding officer, the Senate President, Sherwin Gatchalian, expressed his concerns that the sudden surprise is unfair to the senator judges as they have already studied for the scheduled witnesses to be presented this week. He also asked that he is made to appear on Monday since there is a flight to Bangkok at night. The presiding officer, after initially deferring the resolution, eventually ruled that NBI Director Attorney Matibag shall be presented on Monday, July 20, 2026, subject to continuance of his cross-examination on another date. As to the presentation of evidence in chief, for Article 4, the prosecution proceeded with its evidence in chief and presented its second witness, NBI investigator Jeremy Lotok. Direct examination was conducted by Prosecution Counsel Attorney Amando Ligutan, followed by cross-examination by Defense Counsel Mark Vinluan. Senator judges actively interpolated the witness. For media reference, the inquiries centered in three primary evidentiary themes. Theme number 1, legal elements and assessment of grave threats. Senator Judge Risa Ontiveros and Senator Judge Joel Villanueva probed the NBI's evaluative standards and criteria for concluding the existence of a grave threat. Inquiries focused on the necessity of proving the threat was real and whether the presence of conditions attached to the alleged statements or the respondents' subsequently stated excuses legally negate the elements of a grave threat. Senator Judge Raffy Tulfo, on the other hand, questioned the witness regarding his specific expertise in formal threat assessment, his reliance on investigators' notes, the NBI's determination of motive, and whether the Bureau considers this as an airtight case. Theme number 2, verification of the alleged contracted individual. Senator judges rigorously scrutinized the investigation surrounding the allegation of a contracted individual. Senate President Sherwin Gatchalian and Senator Judge Erwin Tulfo questioned whether the NBI definitively established the existence or non-existence of the alleged hitman. Inquiries focused on the exact timeline of when this individual was allegedly contracted relative to the incident involving Attorney Zuleika Lopez and the findings of the task force investigating threats to the President's life. Senator Judge Erwin Tulfo further inquired if the respondent was subpoenaed by the NBI and present during the investigation. Senator Judge Bam Aquino sought details on the methodologies employed by other NBI agents in identifying the alleged contracted person and verified with the defense if a specific denial had been entered in the articles of impeachment regarding this allegation. Theme number 3, procedural integrity and interagency timelines. Senator Judge Amy Marcos, augmented by the presiding officer, noted discrepancies in the timelines of events as recorded between the official subpoena and the witness's executed affidavit. Senator Judge Erwin Tulfo examined the status of the case referred to the Department of Justice, noting it has been pending for over a year. He strictly reminded the NBI to ensure complete procedural accuracy in the filing of future complaints and questioned the House prosecutors regarding their awareness of these documentary discrepancies. Senator Judge Alan Cayetano inquired into the witness's knowledge of parallel investigations potentially conducted by other agencies. Senator Risa Ontiveros sought clarification on whether the NBI's factual findings were different between the filing of their original and the second affidavits. Senator Judge Raffy Tulfo clarified the witness's specific operational scope, establishing during cross-examination that Attorney Lotoc was not involved in the initial receipt of the complaint before the DOJ. Following rulings by the presiding officer on various evidentiary motions and objections by both parties, the trial was adjourned. Pursuant to the rules of procedure on impeachment trials, the impeachment court will resume session tomorrow, Tuesday, July 14, 2026 at 2 p.m. The agenda includes the continuation of the prosecution's evidence-in-chief for Article 4. Scheduled witnesses for tomorrow are Attorney Lotoc, then Attorney Zulaika Lopez. I also want to address the elephant in the room. Last weekend, Senator Panfilo Lacson made a public statement which I welcome because he confirmed the existence of Rule 18 of the Senate Rules on Impeachment and that only the senators can make a determination on the violation of any rules, which perfectly amplified the exact point I made to Nympha Ravelo last Friday. Based on the transcript of that briefing, my explicit response was, quote, "Hindi ko po sinasabing may paglabag si Senator Judge Robin, hindi po ako senador para mag-make ng determination pong ganon. It is clear that I said that making such a determination is entirely outside my mandate and beyond my pay grade. My role as spokesperson is to explain the mechanics of the sub judice rule under Rule 18 as a general concept, not to make any determination of violation by any senator. As a lawyer, I also know Article 6, Section 16 of the Constitution, along with the Senate rules and the Supreme Court decisions, that the power to discipline belongs exclusively to the Senate as a collegial body. Senator Lacson, being a seasoned statesman that he is, was absolutely right to publicly reinforce that boundary and hierarchy. I appreciate his wisdom and guidance as I and him are one in a single purpose, to fiercely protect the institutional integrity, credibility, and hierarchy of not only the Senate, but also the Senate as an impeachment court. Any questions?
Attorney, nakausap niyo po ba si Senping about that? Or is it the first time na sinasabi niyo po yung ganyang statement sa media?
I was with him in the elevator kanina, and I mentioned that I will be thanking him for his public statements.
So parang wala namang bad blood
Wala
between
po.
the two of you?
Wala po.
Okay, just curious lang about Sunday's podcast ni Senator Cheese. He mentioned moving the trial by morning. Is there any update on that po?
I think it will be considered by the senators after the SONA. So before the SONA, we will still push through with the current schedule. But after the SONA, I think they are considering whether to transfer the trials in the morning or retain it in the afternoon.
But it's a very serious proposition naman po.
Yes.
Thank you.
Because I think the concern between the Senate President and the presiding officer is how they will be able to manage the time. Because if the trial is in the morning, there will be an allocated exact time for it to finish. Because there will be a legislative agenda for the afternoon. So if it is in the morning, I think the presiding officer wants does not want the trial to drag on till the afternoon. Compared to if it is in the afternoon, it can drag to the wee hours of the morning. I
Thank you
think
po.
that's just a very scheduling concern for the two of them to talk.
Given that the Senate trial could be moved in the morning with a limited time, wouldn't that extend the number of days necessary to complete the trial?
That's why they are still studying that proposal.
Attorney Mary Reyes from One News One Page po. Si Attorney Zulaika Lopez po, we saw her earlier. Were there any communication from her part na she will be committed to attend tomorrow's hearing for trial?
She is required to still be here tomorrow because the subpoena ad testificandum that was issued to her hanggang bukas po yun. 2 araw, today po at saka bukas. So we will expect her to be here tomorrow.
Attorney, let's say lang po na hindi, kuwari lang naman po, hindi siya magpakita bukas. Buti na lang po matutuloy yung cross-examination ni Lotok tomorrow. Pero kung kunwari matapos kay Lotok, hindi magpakita si Attorney Zulaika Lopez, what will happen next po? Putol na po ba yung trial for tomorrow?
I think the senator, judges, and even the presiding officer expect Attorney Zulaika's testimony to go on tomorrow. I think the House prosecutors as well, they have been communicating to the public that they are ready to conduct their presentation of Attorney Zulaika Lopez, even insinuating declaration of her being a hostile witness.
Last na lang, attorney, from my end. Nag-suggest din po kasi si Senator Ping kung pwede lahat ng scheduled witnesses for the week maagang ipatawag para madaling mapatawag kung sakaling kaya ng schedule. Napag-usapan na po ba siya ng court?
Opo, kaya po bukas po talagang naka-schedule si Attorney Locotoc and Attorney Zulaika. And also, I think pending din si Belinda Bello. Kasi nga, the presiding officer is mindful that it might take time on Wednesday for the oral arguments to happen, especially with the senator judges being actively participating in the debates.
Sir. Yeah. Matthew from Malaya po. Para lang po sa kaalaman ng lahat, yung mga hindi pa po nakakaalam about this, no? Assuming po that Attorney Zulaika Lopez does not show up, meron po bang sanctions or penalties or consequences para pag kung sakaling hindi siya sumipot sa trial?
Of course, the subpoena duces tecum and subpoena ad testificandum, no, both are legal processes that are required to be complied with by the parties. And of course, merong kaakibat na penalty, which is usually contempt kapag hindi ka po sumunod sa order ng court. So, alam naman po ng lahat ng abogado na yun yung possible na harapin na penalty.
So pag hindi po siya sumipot, pwede siyang maaresto?
Ay, of course, hindi po kagad. Ganon, bibigyan po ng due process yung witness kung bakit hindi siya nakapunta. So, baka isyuhan lang po muna ng show cause. Kung may mag-move po. Pero kung wala naman po mag-move, then I think the presiding officer does not want to rule motu proprio on those matters.
Thank you po.
Hannah.
Hi, Attorney. Hannah po from BNC. Curious lang po, do you happen to know if ano pong ginagawa kanina ni Attorney Zulaika Lopez dito kanina? Is it about the room assignment still? Administrative matters? Nako-coordinate po ba siya sa Senate Impeachment Court?
Yes, I think the secretariat was already, or the clerk of court was informed about her presence and her compliance with the subpoena. It was just not manifested by any counsel on the floor, but the presiding officer was already informed about her presence in the vicinity. Opo, naghihintay po kung tatawagin po siya. Kaya lang po walang party po na nag-bring up nung matter na yon. So, hindi ko lang po alam kung alam ng House prosecution po na nandito po siya. Hindi ko po masasagot yun sa inyo. Pero as to the Senate Secretary po and acting like as a clerk of court, alam po namin yon na she is here.
And then, attorney, natapos po ngayon 8 p.m. Ganito na ba palagi ang trial? Nakangiti kayo, attorney.
Yes, based on experiences in ordinary courts, ganito po talaga, especially kung medyo on a tight schedule tayo na 11 days lang yung sa Article 4, so talagang kailangan natin squeeze in. So as part of court management, of course, the presiding officer wants to accommodate all the requests. Kaya nung may nag-request din na senator judge na to cut the cross-examination short, it was favorably ruled upon. Pero hanggat walang mag-motion to either party or a senator judge na i-cut short yung proceedings natin, we will continue on to the night. Ganun po.
For tomorrow po ba, sure na mape-present na talaga si Attorney Zulaika? Because what if mag-stretch po ulit yung cross-examination?
Hindi kita masasagot dyan, but yung that's one one possibility na pwedeng mag-stretch. Pwede rin namang hindi mag-stretch. Hindi natin kasi alam how many more questions yung tatanong ng cross-examiner na si Attorney Binluan. We also do not know kung gaano po kahaba yung redirect kay Attorney Lotok at saka yung recross naman po ng depensa kay Attorney Lotok ulit.
Meron din po bang instances or pwede po ba na yung senator judge like kanina ay mag-move to adjourn or i-close na yung cross-examination? May mga ganun po bang pagkakataon to expedite yung process?
Oh, yes. Yes. That's allowed under the rules.
On what,
Uh,
what grounds? Anong circumstances siya pinapayagan?
Yung pag-adjourn.
Pagka-cut short, sir, nung cross-examination.
Usually magsastate yung movant ng just cause, reasonable grounds, kunwari, yung length of time that we have already spent hearing the witness, yung exigency of the case, kunwari, may emergency na nangyari or meron namang mga pagod na yung mga participants in the trial. So those are reasonable grounds naman considered by the presiding officer in granting the motion.
Hi, attorney.
Ay, sino po?
Rafi Aying. Rafi Aying po from the Daily Tribune. Sir, with the apparent na-discuss kanina is yung mga flaws and discrepancies, the typographical error. Will the parties will be given chance to rectify that or is that part of the...
Paano ko ba sasagutin yan? It's the lookout of each party to either bring out those discrepancies if you're on the other side and to not highlight those discrepancies if you are the presenting side. So depende na po yan sa trial strategy ng mga abogado. So kunwari po, ngayon po nakita natin yung cross-examination na pinpoint po yung ganong mga errors or discrepancies na tinatawag. Now, the prosecution has the power to rectify that by asking sa redirect questions. Usually, papaklarify bakit may mali, bakit ganon. So, I mean, without, hindi ko pinapangunahan sila, pero part yun ng any lawyer's training po.
Yes, and as a lawyer, I believe hindi ka pwede magsalita nito, pero parang humina ba ang kaso laban kay Vice President?
Ay, wala talaga akong judgment dyan. I cannot make that determination.
Thank you.
Okay na po.
Yung sa waray lang po, part po ba siya ng Filipino as a language? Just to clarify lang po.
Under the Constitution po, there are two official language, Filipino and English. When you say Filipino, hindi lamang po Tagalog siya, no? Yun yung turo sa amin. Hindi lamang po siya Tagalog, but it's a combination of different dialects po. So, baka hindi po ako yung tamang taong tanungin dyan. Baka dapat yung Commission on Language or parang ganon. I think Filipino and English lamang po ang request ng prosecution. So yun lamang po yung nag-grant nung July 6 na resolution ng presiding officer. So when we say Filipino, of course, yung common na pagkaintindi natin na Tagalog po.
Attorney, sino po yung dalawang senador na wala kanina? Kasi 19 lang yung attendance.
Ito-check ko. Hindi ko na-check kanina eh.
Attorney, sorry. Yung may ilang senator judges din po na lumabas, yung iba 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes bago bumalik ng session hall. Any communication or info po kung bakit?
Okay, the senator judges can go out of the plenary. Meron silang monitors at speaker doon sa senator's lounge. So, pag nag-take ng break sila, nag-CR sila, naririnig pa rin nila yung nangyayari sa floor.
Pero attorney, kung kunwari may senator na nasa lounge lang, hindi sila kasama sa roll call, what does it say about the senator?
Well, the Senate rules as a legislative body, supultory applicable yan. So, i-apply kung ano yung ginagawa usually sa ordinary plenary session. So, basta nagka-roll call na, you are already considered present. So, even if you go out of the plenary, considered ka ng present for that day, for that session.
Pwede rin pong malate sa roll call.
Pwede rin po, malate. Kanina po may na-late yata sa roll call. Okay po, thank you po.